Water park day. We are headed to Blizzard Beach today for the perfect day, and I'm going to show you exactly how to have the perfect day when you're going to Blizzard Beach. Maybe you are headed to Disney's Blizzard Beach water park because you really want to go and you love it there. I got tips for you. Maybe you're headed to Disney's Blizzard Beach water park for the first time ever. Maybe you're going because you have that water park day on your check-in day, and so you're definitely going to take advantage of a free park entry, but you don't really know what to do at Blizzard Beach. I gotcha. I'm gonna cover it all in this video because I'm gonna have the perfect day and take you with me, showing you how I do it along the way. How do you get to Blizzard Beach? There's really only two ways. You can either drive your car, parking is complimentary, or you can take a bus. Now, most hotels do not have direct bus transportation to Blizzard Beach. The exceptions being Coronado Springs, which is pulling up right now, and all three of the all-star resorts, which is also pulling up right now. That was crazy. Otherwise, if you're staying in a Disney hotel, you want to get to Blizzard Beach, you're going to take a bus to Animal Kingdom and they get on a transfer bus to Blizzard Beach. Now, this is a little annoying because you have to wait for two buses, but the transfer bus runs a little bit more often than a typical Disney bus. So typical Disney buses, usually there's like a 20-minute-ish window between them, sometimes a little more. With the transfer bus to Blizzard Beach, it really just goes back and forth, and they're very close to each other. So it is about a 10-minute, 15-minute wait typically. We are gonna head into Blizzard Beach. Park just opened. As you can see, it is not super busy today. It is April, so it's starting to get warm. It's about 80 degrees today, but a lot of the time you're not gonna find that the water parks are super busy. Open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. today, so it just opened. Now, Disney's Blizzard Beach water park is one of the two water parks in Disney World. There is this one and Typhoon Lagoon. Depending on when you come, only one of them may be open, but this year, for the first time in several years, both are actually going to be opening at the same time again. Now, a couple of different ways you can access Blizzard Beach. You might have free water park entry on your check-in day with your hotel, which might be while you're here. You also can purchase tickets. One-day tickets are $74 for adult and $68 for kids. There's also cheaper ones that just have some blockout dates. There's also an add-on for Disney World annual passes that can get you into the water park as well, which is what I have. Let's head in and talk a bit about the very strange theme for Blizzard Beach. Blizzard Beach Water Park is a water park themed to a ski village, a ski park. Slush Gushers temporarily closed. That's okay. That's my least favorite slide. The story of Blizzard Beach Water Park goes that there was a freak snowstorm in Florida, of all places, actually froze everything over, snow abound. And during said snowstorm, some folks wanted to capitalize. They wanted to capitalize, so they built a whole ski town, ski resort. First ever and only ever in Florida. Thought it would be great because obviously they've got a corner on the market. What they didn't think about was that it was gonna get hot again. It's Florida, and all that snow was gonna melt. And that is the time that you find yourself rolling up to Blizzard Beach. That snow is melting at the ski resort. It's creating rivers of water and slides down the ski hills, including the infamous / famous, depending on who you ask, Summit Plummet. It's a giant ski slope, it's a water slide. But the snow melting, the slush running down, has created a water park. And that is where you're visiting. So that's the story of Blizzard Beach. It's super hokey, super silly, and definitely not your traditional water park theme. I know that I find this one a little bit more interesting. It's a little bit more unique. You can find tropical vibes a lot of places, but a water park ski resort theme, not many places. The first stop, but I'm gonna swing by what might be your first stop, and that is the lockers. The lockers are available for rent. They've got these kiosks over here where you can rent lockers. And let's look at pricing right now. Yep, standard locker 10, large locker 15. You do get it for the whole day. So if you have stuff that you don't want to leave out at your beach chair, you can use a locker. Now, you can also just leave stuff at your beach chair. That, of course, is at your own risk. If somebody decides, hey, that looks like a nice phone, and picks it up, that's on you. So you can rent a locker because obviously you probably aren't going to be carrying your phone in the lazy river. Maybe you are, but maybe you're not. This is it, basically. This is the big slide hill in the middle. There's lots of little slides kind of tucked around. You've got the big bay here, which is just kind of a chill wave pool. And then a lot of the dining and shops. This is where we are right now. But there's also dining and shops kind of mixed in around too. We are gonna be seeing a whole lot today. If you're confused about the layout at any point, we do have a full, complete tour of Blizzard Beach on the channel that is a walking tour. A little bit easier to tell what's going on and what direction things are. So this is probably the most important part of your day, is finding your spot. And we're gonna find a good one. If you don't want to worry about finding your spot, you can reserve a polar patio, which are basically their cabanas. They are these super cute little deck spaces. They come with towels. They also come with service, so you can get food ordered from any of the restaurants right to your cabana, and there will be a nice attendant who will run and go get those for you. These are obviously an upcharge, a little more expensive, but if you're trying to really ball out on your water park day, who's to stop you? Perhaps the most popular spot for a chair is going to be right by Meltaway Bay. This is the wave pool, not like intense wave pool. The waves you're seeing right now are kind of the extent of it. And it is probably the place that is going to beckon to your children to go barreling in there at top speeds. They're probably going to want to go into this wave pool. So a lot of families, a lot of folks want to grab chairs through here. This is a spot to head pretty early if you want one of those poolside prime retail locations. I can see stuff on pretty much every chair. But if you want a little bit quieter of a time, a little bit more separated, I like to go in this second tier back from Meltaway Bay. There are lots of chairs and lots of shade, which I love. There's no shade really outside of Meltaway Bay. So I like to find a kind of quiet corner a bit away from the water that is my chair home. And then we satellite out from there, go do some fun slides, get some great food. There's shockingly good food at the water parks. And maybe ski a bit, I guess. I've decided this is gonna be home sweet home, but we have some more errands to run. I'm gonna leave my bag so that it's claimed, but we are headed to two locations. One, I forgot to grab a towel. You can get towels at Blizzard Beach. I forgot to bring a nice big beach towel. So I'm going to go either borrow/rent a towel from Blizzard Beach, or I might buy a nice towel, because the towels you can rent are not the best. The two things I recommend doing before the water park day, because it doesn't open till 10, are getting breakfast at your hotel and putting on all your sunscreen. That way you have more time when the water park starts. That's not a joke for me. It takes me 30 minutes to apply sunscreen. There is a full Joffrey's. They do all the stuff that all the other Joffrey's do in all the other parks. They got all the fun stuff right here at the Joffrey's. It's right by Meltaway Bay and the funnel cake stand. All right. Beautiful, Joffrey's, gorgeous. I just got an iced decaf with a little bit of caramel. And one thing to note, no lids. There are no lids in the water park. I guess because they don't want lids getting in the water. I'm not really sure why there's no lids. Before we quite make it to get a towel, we gotta stop by Joffrey's Mini Donuts. This is a spot which you might think is where you can get coffee, because this one is on the map. They just have regular coffee, so if you want something fun, go to the other spot. But they do have mini donuts, which are a water park specialty, and we will be getting a half dozen, because that's breakfast, baby. I've got great news. They're out of mini donuts, which is good, because it means they're making more. They only take 5 minutes to make, and they are best when they're fresh. So you can get, pretty good mini donuts that have been sitting for 20 minutes, or you can get fresh mini donuts, which is what I'm getting. Honestly, maybe pro tip is to look in the window and see how many donuts are in the bowl, and if it's very few, that's when to go. Not only are they piping hot and fresh, they also give me extra for my weight. When these are fresh, they should be illegal. Pillowy soft, just like delicious, warm, doughy, and covered in sugar. You can find these at state fairs, or I always used to get them at the Southern Christmas show, but they're kind of hard to find just in your daily life. So they are a really special treat, and in Disney World you can only get them at the water park, so you gotta get them. They're good for breakfast or dessert at some point, and they come in these neat little boxes you can just pack up. Look, and pack them up. This has been a very roundabout route to get a towel, I'll tell you. All right, towels, super easy. It actually used to cost money to rent towels if you weren't staying in a Disney hotel. They were included if you're at a Disney hotel, but now it's actually complimentary. Frostbite Freddy's is this bar, actually. It's a great bar. They sometimes have some cool specialty drinks. And just right around the side, you will find a little side stand that will have the towels. They'll ask you how many you need, and they'll give you them. So I now have a towel. I decided I don't need to buy a towel. Even though I want one, I have too many Disney beach towels. So that's the struggle. I think I've done enough diddy bopping. I think I should finish my coffee and go get on some slides. On my way there, I am gonna cruise past two areas that might be another good place for you to park, especially if you've got kids, little or big. We'll start with little. Tykes Peak. This area is geared towards your littles. It's the kids' play area, and it does have a Frozen theme, so it's super cute. There is a little slide the kids can go on, and lots of seating, shady seating, sun seating, whatever you want. It's a super cute little area. Just like the rest of the park, it does have lifeguards. Your kids can play with the Stogies or with Anna and Elsa. It's basically like they have gotten to go to play with Anna and Elsa before Elsa stopped using her powers when they were kids. Ski Patrol training camp is geared towards preteens, which I think is awesome because there's not a lot that's geared towards that age group. And so this whole area is geared for preteens. I still have my coffee, so I can't go in, but all these little like obstacle course games you can do. You try to get across the ice flows using the nets, and then there's a couple little slides in here which we can do. We're gonna start though on the other side of the mountain for slides, and we're gonna work our way up the mountain. Now, most of the year, you're not gonna find the craziest crowds at Blizzard Beach. In the summer, it might get pretty crowded. The wait that's gonna be the longest in the park is gonna be right here for the chairlift, which is a very cool, much better way than walking up to the top of the mountain, because you just get to ride up. We will be riding up, don't worry. Once you get up there, some of the best slides in the park. But here's the catch. That line can get long. I've seen it was like 40 minutes before. In that case, take the stairs. Waiting for the chairlift to ride up and then waiting at the top for whatever slide you want to do, that can be brutal. If you do come in the summer, I recommend making a beeline for that chairlift if you want to ride it during the day, right first thing in the morning, just so that you're not in a super long line. Otherwise, lines are going to kind of vary around the park. Typically, the longest are going to be for the family raft slide, which is at the very top, at the top of the chairlift. Sometimes the racing slides on Purple Slope, which is where we're headed right now, although those can be kind of hit or miss. If you have a choice of when to experience Blizzard Beach, I recommend doing it in the middle of the week, as that's less likely to be a check-in day for folks. And I recommend doing it in the off-season, so the colder it is, the better the lines. And odds are if you're traveling here, a cold, I'm doing air quotes, day in Orlando is still plenty warm to get in the pool. For instance, last week it was a little rainy, but in the sunny parts of the day it was like 68, 69, which for me as a Floridian, way too cold. But for you, might be perfectly comfortable. Okay, it's slide time. We are going on the Purple Slope first, downhill double dipper, snowstormers, and toboggan racers. I call this the racing hill because I think all three of these are slides where you do race other people. I'm alone, so I'll see if I'm racing anybody or if we're just getting our own speeds. Started with snowstormers, which was bold. That's a mat ride. It is a race and it is super squiggly. The mat, like you just go really, really fast and you're just on a mat. It feels like you're just like out of control. This one and Thrill, honestly, pretty high. I would say maybe like 7 out of 10 for Thrill. Maybe 8. I'm gonna say 8 out of 10 for Thrill. The next one I did is a tube ride. You grab your tube pretty close to the top so you don't have to carry your tube all the way, and then you are getting on downhill double dipper. This one's super fun. It's another racing slide. All three of these are racing slides, so you're technically racing the people next to you, and at the ends you can get times. Downhill double dipper is a super fast slide. It's a race slide in a tube. You literally just dip, and you're down. It only took about 7.5 seconds for me. I still lost. I would say a 6 on Thrill. It's on the thrilling side. And then finally, The best racing slide there is Toboggan Racers. There are 8 lanes on this, and they will put 8 people in the lanes, and you're racing everybody. It is very fun. They call out who the winner is at the end. You are on a mat, on your stomach. Toboggan Racers, 7 on thrill. You're just on a mat. Very thrilling.
I won! I said number 8, that was me!
That was my purple slope experience. That puts us at the end of our first slide time section. So a little bit unlike the parks, every slide, every experience at Blizzard Beach isn't for everybody necessarily, which is true in the parks too, but it's even more true here. There's stuff you're just not gonna wanna do here, and that's okay too, because also it's nice to just sit in the sun. So this video, instead of being more of like a plan that you should directly follow, I'm gonna give you the way you should structure your day. So we've already come in and gotten settled. We had a little breakfast donuts, we had some coffee, we found our chair, and then we headed to maybe we got our towel, maybe we got our locker. Then we had to our first block of slide time. Slide time can mean a lot of different things. Maybe you are taking on one section of the slopes like I did. I did purple slope. Maybe instead you're headed to Tykes Peak for the kiddos to splash around. Maybe you're headed to the ski patrol training camp to try to step on those ice floes because you're a preteen. Maybe you want to do one slide in Lazy River all day. All of those are okay, but that is what we are going to call slide time. It's time for a break. I've done a lot of stairs, too many, some would say, the Achilles heel of water parks. I think it's about time for lunch. So we are going to head over to Wada Wada Lodge. There are a number of places to grab lunch at Blizzard Beach. Wada Wada is the biggest, and it consistently has the best options. So that's where we're going to head. But I want to call out a couple of other things. If you're looking for pizza or hot dogs, you want to head to Ava Lunch. And there are also some very good elote corn nachos over at Worming Hut. So swinging by there can be a good spot for lunch too. But Wada Wada is going to have the most options, the most seating. So in most cases, that's probably where you're going to want to go for lunch. Right now, I'm not walking towards it because I need to find my shoes. I took them off and put them under a beach chair at some point, and I apparently never got them back because they're not on my feet. So we're going to find my shoes, and that's a new tip that I'm sharing is remember where you put your shoes. Now, as you're deciding what to do during your thrill time blocks, maybe keep in mind that the medium slides are actually going to be the worst from a stairs perspective. That's why I started with them, is because it's a lot of stairs on those 3 slides on Purple Slope. Red Slope actually has the most stairs. It is a very long walk to get up to Red Slope, which I think is how we're going to finish the day. Which is a little silly because who wants to do the most stairs at the end of the day? But at the same time, it's my favorite slide, so I want a grand finale with it. For Green Slope with Summit Plummet and Teamboat Springs at the very top, the line for the chairlift does fluctuate. Even with no line, it is faster to take the stairs. I recommend doing the chairlift at least once during your day, but it is faster to take the stairs if you are able and willing. I found my shoes. They were under this beach chair. Okay, now we go get lunch. Now, perhaps unsurprisingly, you are going to find sort of your classic water park items, cheeseburgers, and the basics. They also have rice bowls. One of them has shrimp, which is really great here. My personal favorite is the White Cap flatbread, which is very tasty. You can find that at Wada Wada Lodge as well. I, however, am getting something I've never had here before, which is the Buffalo Ranch chicken tenders. Wada Wada Lodge is super fun because it's literally supposed to be like a ski lodge. So they have parking for your skis and your snowboards, which of course you've been using. And then you're just kind of in the little ski lodge. The theming at Blizzard Beach in general is so cute and fun. I think your kids will really love it, especially if they've ever been somewhere that has like a ski lodge. My order is ready though. So I have to go to pick up 7. You can order not on mobile order, but it's typically a little faster. Just to order on mobile order in the My Disney Experience app, just like in the parks. Buffalo Ranch chicken tenders. They are literally Disney chicken tenders covered in buffalo sauce and ranch. I don't really know that we can go wrong here, but I'll try them anyway. Real good. The primary flavor is the buffalo sauce. This is very classic buffalo sauce, so it does have a bit of heat to it. The ranch is calming it down. So I'm still feeling like the prickle of spice in my mouth, but not crazy. Obviously beautiful, delicious white meat. crunchy Disney classic chicken tenders that everybody loves, unless you don't, which is fine also. But smothered in sauce. I really am happy with the amount of sauce here. They're kind of like tossed tenders almost. You really work up an appetite going upstairs and going down slides. A win. And great water park food, honestly. Lunch done. Check. So that means we're gonna go into our next block of time. Now we're not going back to slide time because you don't want to do a really jostly water slide on a full stomach. Maybe you do. Maybe you're 6 years old and you can handle that. Maybe you think you can handle it because you're 6 years old and that your mom is gonna make you wait a minute. That's also possible. What we are gonna do, however, is a new block of time. We're calling this chill time. Chill time, equally important to thrill time at a water park. This is the time where you relax a bit. Now there's two ways we're gonna relax. We're gonna relax with a nice sit in our chair. Maybe you like to lay in the sun because you aren't a shade of pale that they find difficult to register on most scales, like me. Maybe you like to lay in the shade because you are a shade of pale like me. Maybe you brought a book, wanna read that in the sun, or maybe you wanna go float in the wave pool. Fun fact, it's actually a bit of a myth that it's dangerous at all to swim after eating. You might get a little stomach cramp, but you certainly aren't gonna have any sort of dangerous situations happening. So, no big deal if you wanna swim a little after eating. So we are going to do some wave pool. I think we're gonna do wave pool time and then sit in the shade time. And that'll be our chill time block before we move on to more slides, baby. All right, Meltaway Bay is the wave pool. We're gonna go thrill level 2. It's pretty big, lots of space system around. Even on crowded days, it can be a bit people soupy, but still a pretty large wave pool. And the waves that you're seeing right now are the biggest that they get. So I'm gonna go have a little wave pool time, little swim, to finish out our chill time. And then it's back to slide time, baby. I've got to drop my stuff off at a chair because we are headed to the green slope now. The 2-star slides of Summit Plummet are on the green slope. Now, super fun about the green slope is you can actually get to every slide at Blizzard Beach by taking the chairlift. It's all downhill from where the chairlift drops you off, except for Summit Plummet and Slush Gusher. You have to go up some more stairs with those two. The only exception to this is Runoff Rapids, which is sometimes accessible from this side of the mountain, and sometimes you have to walk around the back, depending on how busy it is. But we are gonna hop in this chairlift. It says a 15-minute wait for it. So we're gonna get our chairlift on and then take on, I think we'll start with Steamboat Springs and then do Summit Plummet. Okay, off Steamboat Springs. That one is a family raft ride, so it can fit 3 to 6 people. You do have to ride with minimum 3 people. So when I'm alone, or if you're 2 people, you'll have to wait for a party that you can sit with. I got adopted into a very nice Austrian family who were visiting Blizzard Beach from Austria. Now, I'm gonna be honest, we rode it twice in a row. They invited me to go with them again, and who was I to deny? So we went twice. I love Steamboat Springs. What's great about this ride is you will get wet on your swimsuit, but your hair won't get wet. without maybe like a little splash might get you, but mostly your hair is not gonna get wet. So it's great for those who are maybe not into the water part of the water park spirit. It's fun, but it's not super, super scary thrilling. It's really just fun for the whole family, and the whole family can ride together probably, because it's a 6-seater. So thrill level on this one, gonna give it a 5. Absolutely love it. And now we're gonna take on Summit Plummet. This is Summit Plummet. You can see them folks in the very, very top up there, and they're gonna come rocketing down here. There's a sign that will tell you how fast you went. It's currently broken because it said 49 miles per hour all day, but you can go up to 70 miles per hour on this slide, and it is a body slide. It is just your literal body rocketing down 120 feet. That is taller than Splash Mountain. You go very, 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 very fast, and it is, as I heard many people say when I was up there just now headed to Steamboat Springs, one of the probably the actual scariest thing you can do in Disney World. That said, it's also one of my absolute favorite slides. I typically really hate body slides. I think they're super uncomfortable. They often hurt, and I'm not a big thrill seeker. However, Summit Plummet is really high. There's a great view from up there, and you go down so quickly that it's over like that. So it just feels like a rush of fun, and then it's over. So you don't have time to get scared. You don't have time for it to be unpleasant. My big tips for it, this isn't even a tip, it's a must. You have to listen to the cast members. They will tell you exactly how to sit with your legs crossed and your arms crossed. Listen to them and stay in that position. It is for your safety. Another tip for it is hold your nose. I'm a big nose holder. I understand that makes me not cool, but you know what I don't think is cool is water up my nose. And the amount of water that will slam into your face when you are slowing down on Summit Plummet, because water is what slows you down, it's insane. So I like to hold my nose and shut my eyes. I don't want water in either of those places. But if I do those things, I love Summit Plummet every time. Love Summit Plummet. That is such a fun slide. It really, this one, you are getting soaked, and it is fast thrilling. It's gonna be thrill 10 on our scale. It's the most thrilling thing you can do in Disney World. It is so much fun. And you just hear everybody up top. You would just watch people chickening out. It's just not for everybody. So I'm not a thrill chaser. For instance, I have done the coffin style floor drops out from under you body slide at Volcano Bay at Universal, and I hate that one. But I like Summit Plummet, so maybe you will too. If you're thinking about it, I say give it a try. Now briefly, I want to talk a little bit about Slush Gusher. Slush Gusher is the slide right next to Summit Plummet. It's a little bit shorter, and Slush Gusher is a controversial one. Some folks say that, you know, if you're too afraid to do Summit Plummet, Slush Gusher is a much easier ride. It's only 90 feet tall, and it's not a straight down drop. You can see it right there. It's the woo, so it looks a lot chiller. I actually hate Slush Gusher. It is my one that I do not like to do at Blizzard Beach. I only do it if I'm in a challenge or something where I have to. It is closed right now, but the reason I don't like Slush Gusher is because it is designed, and you actually get airtime on it. When you go over that second bump, you get a little bit of airtime as you're going down the hill. And here's what I'll say. I don't want airtime on a body slide. That's just my body in the air, and then my body has to hit the slide again, which is hard. I got full air last time I did Slush Gusher. Every time I've done Slush Gusher, I got full air. Went up in the air and then landed on the slide hard. So I don't love Slush Gusher. That said, it's a little shorter than Summit Plummet, a little slower. So if you're too afraid of Summit Plummet, you could try Slush Gusher. Just be warned, you get air. You get air on a body slide. I don't like Slush Gusher. And I think that brings another slide portion to an end. I got 3 good ones in. Steamboat Springs twice, Summit Plummet once. I think it's time for another food portion, snack portion. And And luckily, I'm right nearby the spot that I want to go to. Well, wait, do I want to do this now? No, I'll do this later. Just keep this in your mind. Now for my adults watching, something that you might like to accent your theme park day with is an alcoholic beverage. And Blizzard Beach has you covered. A lot of these little stands, including Arctic Expedition, Avalanche, are gonna have access to beers, especially cocktails, but there are two full bars. One is Polar Pub by Meltaway Bay, and the other is Frostbite Freddy's Frozen Freshmans. I'm headed to Frostbite Freddy's. They used to have a Bloody Mary here that was awesome. They don't have it anymore, which is a bummer. They still do have a number of specialty beverages, and one of my favorite things about Blizzard Beach, which I am going to get, and I will show you, and is a very big tip, because you can't find anything like this anywhere else in Disney World, that Disney owns anyway. Maybe at Disney Springs. So true to Disney prices, cocktails at Blizzard Beach are going to be around, 17, 18 bucks. But this little buddy is a beer. And it's in a souvenir cup. They come served in a souvenir cup. There are beer specials at Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. Literally, this cup is for both. But for premium and craft beer, you can get one of these for $15.50. For domestic beer, it's $13.50. And then refills, $9.25 or $8.25 for domestic. That is so cheap for beer in Disney World. So if you think you're gonna have a couple, more than one, if you're a beer drinker, grab this early, get your beers, and don't toss your cup, because those refills are seriously rare in Disney World. And one of the things I love here, honestly, I should just come here and have beer and float around in the lazy river. I would tell you what I got, but I think you'll judge me, because there is craft beer here, but I did get a Bud Light. It's just really hot. And a Bud Light is so light. I'm usually an IPA drinker, and they do have an IPA. Dogfish, I think. I am hot, so I wanted a Bud Light. And also, I already got my cool points by doing Summit Plummet today. So it's okay if I'm drinking a less cool beer. Thanks, Bud Light. I think while I drink my beer, we should go over and watch people come down Summit Plummet. And also, let me give you a few more slide tips for Blizzard Beach. For one, you don't want to wear any swimsuits that have any zippers, buckles, exposed metal, anything like that. You won't be able to go on the rides or slides. Now, if there is a zipper that's covered with fabric, concealed, they may let you. I have a swimsuit that does have a zipper down the back that I have worn here without issue, but I've also been told that I can't go down the slide. It's for your safety, of course, so if you got a little kiddo who loves slides, make sure that you're checking out that their swimsuit doesn't have any buckles, zippers, anything that will cause a problem where they'll get turned away. Or you, for that matter. That woman screamed coming down. That was amazing. Another tip is, in the busier times of Blizzard Beach, you definitely want to do all of your top priority slides earlier in the morning, particularly those medium intensity slides. The high intensity slides can get lines, but usually not as long as the ones that everybody likes. So do those first thing when you get here, particularly if it's a hotter day or a busier time in Disney World. With that hotel check-in perk, check-in day, a lot of folks might not be arriving in time to be able to get to Blizzard Beach right when it opens at 10 a.m. So you might be hotel crowds, or if you are part of the hotel crowd, if you're able to arrive by 10 a.m., you can get shorter lines in the morning, and that way you can knock out a lot of stuff. But the good news about Blizzard Beach is, because it is a smaller park, you can kind of play it by ear and wing it a bit more than you can any of the actual Disney theme parks. And that means you can do the things that you'll have fun doing, and maybe do them twice, like I did with Steamboat Springs. I'm gonna hit a shady chair, finish my beer, and then another chill time window. Perhaps the best chill time window we're gonna get. Okay, I'm just about finished with my beer, which means it's time for chill time. Oh, I'm excited for this one. But I wanted to do one quick call out. Some of the food spots do have limited hours. You can see their hours in the My Disney Experience app, but if you're really craving that hot dog, you really want the chili cheese hot dog at Avalanche, it's kind of just open for those peak lunch hours. The bars also don't open right when the park opens. So make sure you're checking food times in the My Disney Experience app. It's not as, all day as you might think. I think it's time we do the creme de la creme, the peak activity of any water park. I think we should get in the lazy river. Oh, I'm excited for this. The 3,000-foot lazy river, it's called Cross Country Creek. It is a slow-moving river where you can pick your tube of choice and chillax. And that is what we're gonna do. I saw a woman going by earlier with headphones in. She was clearly just vibing, listening to her audiobook or something. I love that. There are 7 different places to enter and exit the lazy river, so don't feel like you're gonna get stuck in it forever. And actually, it's a good way to get around. Just keep in mind it's gonna be slower than walking. But I have got to go find a spot to drop off my stuff I'm gonna do that, and then we can get our lazy river on. Lazy rivered, I acquired my stuff. We're in the wind down of the day now. The park closes kind of soon. Limited park hours. Usually 5 or 6 p.m. is when these parks close. Most of the year it's gonna be 5 p.m. It's time for my last food item. I told you it was coming. Icy Expeditions, we're getting ice cream, baby. And I was gonna get a hand-dipped Mickey bar because they have a hand-dipped Mickey premium ice cream bar with candy canes on it. Blizzard Beach has Christmassy stuff year round a lot of the time. But the Sandpail Sundae, I saw somebody walk by with it and I swear it's much smaller than it used to be. And I have to investigate. So I'm gonna get the Sandpail Sundae and see if it's much smaller. And that's gonna be our ice cream time, post Lazy River time. And then we're gonna finish with my favorite slide. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing this just because if lightning happens and your favorite slide closes down, or if it's super crowded and time gets away from you, but because it's a beautiful blue sky day with no rain in sight, and the park's pretty chill, I figured it'd be fun to save my favorite slide for the finale. But I don't recommend doing it necessarily, just if you feel like it's safe. Or ride it first and then also make it your finale. Get 2 in. That's a good move. I was wrong. It's still huge. I don't know if the girl I saw just had really big hands or if like my depth perception was off after some plummet or what. This thing is still massive. And now I have too much ice cream. Look at this. I do think it's a little smaller than it used to be back in the day. I used to go in a green pail and actually have a little shovel with it, but they switched this over to the 50th into these little custom buckets, which are a better souvenir anyway. There's a lot going on here, but for some reason, I don't know, there's some vanilla. And I was like, why is it only getting chocolate soft serve? There's so much ice cream. It's good, but it's good in a very expected way. I love M&Ms. I love whipped cream. There's 2 flavors of soft serve in here. What's down there? The cookie pieces are really good. I'm definitely on the chocolatey side because it's chocolate vanilla swirl, which obviously chocolate, zero powdering flavor there. And then a lot of the inclusions are chocolatey. I think a family of 4 could share this and be pretty happy. Luckily, it is mostly soft serve, which I can put a lot of soft serve down. When I was a teenager, I used to come home from school, get a quart, not a pint, a quart of ice cream out of the freezer, and I'd eat the whole thing. I grew a foot in a year though, so I think that's what was happening. Usually there's some specialty desserts, like a lot of water right now has an ice skater cookie, which is very cute. That's an option. But ice cream, ice cream's kind of the vibe at a water park, right? So Icy Expeditions does tend to have a long line. Usually it's the longest line I wait in during the day at Blizzard Beach in the slower season. So get ready for that, I guess. But they got my sand pail done pretty quick. Hey, remember earlier when I was like, maybe don't save your favorite slide to last because you never know what could happen. What could happen is you could end up accidentally buying, obviously it was on purpose and I really wanted to know if it was any smaller. You could end up, instead of getting a single Mickey bar with candy canes on it like you were going to get, you end up with an entire bucket of ice cream. And now you still have your favorite slide to ride. You know what, I'm gonna go ride it. My stomach does hurt. I did not eat the entire bucket. It turned to soup quite quickly. I did get down in there because the good toppings are at the bottom. There's yellow cake and cookies at the bottom, and I wanted those. So I kind of excavated those, and I would say I made it through a third to half of the bucket before it turned to soup. I ate all the whipped cream. It was a good showing. My stomach is not happy with the showing. But you know what? I had to do it for science. I had to know if it was smaller. I don't think it was smaller. I think it was just less whipped cream than the last time I had it. It's definitely more expensive though. It's about $1 little less than $1 more expensive than it was when I had it last year, but that's pretty typical in Disney World. They do price increases pretty much yearly. If you're curious about them, we do big roundups of what exactly they look like, but pretty much, I mean, food across the entire resort usually gets like a 50-cent, 70-cent increase. It's not everything, but a bunch of little things. Typically happens at the beginning of the year, around like February-ish. So we always post about it on our blog with roundups of everything and how it's increasing and, you know, what the price increases look like. But that's why Disney keeps feeling a little bit more expensive every time. Obviously the tickets go up, but they raise the other prices too. Runoff Rapids is a far walk. It's all the way around the back. You can actually, when it's slower, get to it by going up any set of stairs, but when it's busier, you do have to go around to its actual entrance, which is around the back of Mount Gushmore. Runoff Rapids is actually 4 different slides, and when you're up there you get to pick which one you want to go down. On each side of Runoff Rapids there are 2 slides. The sides are pretty similar, honestly. I mean, they're technically a little different, I think, but not enough that I can notice. And then on either side there's a fully enclosed slide and a fully open top slide. I like the open top slides better. Enclosed slides are fun, but I don't think they're as fun as being able to like see what's happening. Doesn't really matter which one you pick. So I'm gonna go grab one of the open top ones and get our Runoff Rapids on. That's one of them. You can see it curling through the trees there, here on the back of the mountain. If it's busy though, the line for Runoff Rapids does run down these stairs, which is why sometimes you cannot access it if you take the chairlift up. You have to walk a million miles to the back of the park, or lazy river it, which is what I should have done. I think the line is gonna be non-existent because it's so close to the end of the park day and no one's walking back here. Let's do it. Love that slide. What a great way to end the day. That one is so much fun. On a thrill level, it's honestly pretty mild. I think with the bumps, I'll give it a 6. Yeah, 5 or 6. It's a pretty chill slide as things go. All 4 of them are kind of equal in thrill. I did say that there were 2 enclosed and 2 open, but there's actually 1 enclosed, 1 open, and 2 that are part enclosed, part open. I remember that when I got up there. My favorite is part enclosed, part open. Either of the ones on that side, but I did a fully open today. It was still probably my favorite slide in the park between these and Summit Plummet. Typhoon Lagoon has 1, that's my number 2. And the other 2, this is 1 and 3, Summit Plummet and Runoff Rapids. I think. Oh, that's kind of hard. I need to go to Typhoon Lagoon. But with that, park is about closed. So I think it's time I dropped my towel off actually a while ago because it was soaking wet. But I'm gonna air dry and I'll show you what you're probably gonna do before you exit.